If you turned Copilot off and assumed that was the end of it, this story matters to you. Because multiple Windows users, IT admins, and industry outlets have been tracking a pattern where Copilot features, apps, shortcuts, or integrations return after updates, even after people deliberately removed or disabled them. Microsoft has pushed Copilot aggressively across Windows 11, Microsoft 365, and new hardware. But the backlash has been just as strong. Many users don't want AI tools embedded into the operating system. Others worry about privacy, system performance, clutter, or simply prefer deciding for themselves what runs on their machine. That tension is now at the center of this controversy. Let's be precise from the start. And there's no verified evidence that Microsoft secretly hacked into disabled PCs and manually switched Copilot back on one by one. What is verified is something more frustrating. Updates and product changes have repeatedly restored Copilot entry points, reinstalled Copilot-related apps, or re-enabled experiences users thought they had already opted out of. For many people, the result feels the same. And that's why this story exploded. For months, users have reported several versions of the same problem. Some disabled Copilot through Windows settings only to see the Copilot icon return later after an update. Others uninstalled the app entirely, then noticed a fresh Copilot branded version appeared weeks later as Microsoft changed how the feature was packaged and delivered. In business environments, the complaints were even sharper. IT teams that carefully manage company devices saw Microsoft 365 Copilot surface in places where administrators expected stricter controls and predictable rollouts. Even when the exact feature had changed, the branding, shortcuts, and access points kept reappearing. That pattern created confusion because many people assumed Copilot was one single tool. It is not. Copilot has evolved into a family of products, integrations, and AI features spread across Microsoft's ecosystem. What started as a chatbot-style assistant is now tied to Windows, Office apps, web services, and newer hardware. So when users say they removed Copilot, Microsoft may interpret that as disabling one component while leaving several others untouched. There is a standalone consumer Copilot app for general use. Microsoft 365 Copilot is built into Word, Excel, Outlook, and other workplace tools. There are Copilot buttons or AI actions inside apps such as Paint, Notepad, and Photos. There are taskbar shortcuts in Windows. There are dedicated Copilot keys on some new Copilot Plus PCs. There are writing and editing tools that may no longer carry the Copilot name, even though the underlying AI purpose is similar. Each of these pieces can be updated on separate schedules and delivered through different channels. That distinction explains why many users ask the same question. I turned it off. Why is it back? In some cases, what returned was not the same component they had disabled earlier. It may have been a separate app, a renamed feature, or a new Windows integration introduced in a later update. From Microsoft's technical perspective, those are different products. From a user's perspective, it feels like the same thing wearing a different jacket and walking back through the front door. This is where trust starts to erode. Most people do not track packaging changes, app dependencies, or back-end deployment models. They judge the experience in simple terms. I removed it, now I see it again. That gap between technical logic and human expectation is what fuels the backlash. When users disable a feature, they expect that preference to survive routine updates. That expectation is deeply rooted in personal computing culture. If someone turns off a startup app, removes a widget, or uninstalls software, they do not expect the next patch cycle to reverse that decision. So even if Microsoft internally treats Copilot components as separate modules, customers judge the experience by what appears on their screen after the reboot. And what they see is Copilot returning. The strongest documented flashpoint involved the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. Microsoft had announced plans to automatically install it on Windows devices with Microsoft 365 desktop apps. That meant many users and organizations could receive another Copilot-related app without requesting it. After criticism, Microsoft later paused that automatic rollout. Existing installations, however, were not automatically removed. That sequence is important. First, the company moved toward broader automatic deployment. Then Backlash grew. Then the rollout was paused. For critics, that looked like Microsoft testing how much AI integration customers would tolerate before pushing back. Mozilla even accused Microsoft of using dark pattern tactics around Copilot and default behaviors, arguing that user choice was being sidelined in favor of business goals. That is Mozilla's opinion, not a legal finding, but it shows how seriously some industry players view the issue. Microsoft, meanwhile, appears to have noticed the resistance. Recent reports indicate the company has started reducing some Copilot branding and stepping back from certain planned Windows integrations. Features once pitched for notifications, settings, and deeper system services have reportedly been shelved or delayed. In some apps, the Copilot label has been removed and replaced with more generic terms like writing tools. That doesn't necessarily mean Microsoft is abandoning AI in Windows. It may mean the company is changing strategy. Instead of putting the Copilot name everywhere, Microsoft may be embedding AI more selectively or less visibly. If true, the next phase of this battle may not be about whether Copilot is present. It may be about whether users can clearly identify, control, and disable AI features regardless of branding. And that is the bigger story. Because this isn't only about one assistant. It's about the future of operating systems. Tech companies increasingly view the desktop as a delivery platform for subscriptions, services, AI tools, cloud tie-ins, and recurring engagement. Users often view the desktop as their personal workspace. Those two visions can collide. Every time a company restores a feature people removed, it reminds users that the platform owner and the device owner may have different priorities. So, what can regular users do right now? First, know the difference between disabling, uninstalling, and policy blocking. Disabling a toggle in settings may hide an interface but not remove the underlying app. Uninstalling an app may work until a future update reinstalls a newer package. On Pro or Enterprise editions, group policy or administrative controls are often stronger than basic toggles. Microsoft's own documentation references policy-based methods to prevent or manage Copilot deployment. Second, check after major updates. Many users assume that once a setting is changed, it remains changed forever. In reality, feature updates can add new defaults, new apps, or new UI surfaces. It's worth reviewing taskbar settings, installed apps, startup behavior, and privacy options after large Windows updates. Third is separate emotion from evidence. Some online claims say Microsoft is spying through Copilot or forcing AI into every file. Those claims often go beyond what's verified. There are legitimate concerns about control and consent, but accuracy matters. If we exaggerate, we make it easier for real issues to be dismissed. Now let's talk about performance, because that's another reason this topic resonates. Some users complain that modern Windows feels heavier, busier, and more promotional than older versions. Copilot became a symbol of that frustration. Even when the actual resource impact varies by system, the perception of bloat is powerful. If people already feel the OS is cluttered, any returning feature becomes more annoying than it would otherwise be. There's also a psychological factor here. Technology debates are rarely just about code, buttons, or app icons. They are often about control. When a user chooses to disable something, that action represents ownership over their device and their digital space. It is a simple decision that says, "This is my computer, and I decide what belongs on it." If the software later reverses that choice, even indirectly through an update, a renamed feature, or a new shortcut, the frustration goes far beyond the feature itself. People do not just dislike the app. They dislike the feeling that their preferences can be overwritten. They dislike having to repeat the same decision again and again. Most of all, they dislike losing agency over a device they paid for and use every day. That is why reactions to Copilot have been so intense. For some users, Copilot is useful. For others, it has become a symbol of a larger shift in computing, where operating systems behave less like static tools and more like constantly changing service platforms. Every unwanted return reinforces that tension. Will this get worse in 2026? Possibly, but not in the way many expect. Microsoft may become less obvious with its strategy. Instead of giant Copilot buttons across the desktop, we may see AI woven into search, editing, settings, file management, and productivity workflows under different names. The Copilot label itself could become less prominent, while AI functionality spreads more deeply through Windows. If that happens, the real question will not be, where is Copilot? It will be, where are the controls? Can users see what is enabled, understand what it does, and turn it off permanently if they choose? And if those controls are clear, granular, and respected, much of this controversy could cool down. If they are hidden, confusing, or temporary, the backlash will continue. For Microsoft, there's a lesson here. Users may accept AI features when they are useful, optional, and transparent. They resist when features feel imposed, confusing, or sticky after removal. The difference between innovation and irritation often comes down to consent. For users, there's another lesson. Your PC experience is no longer static. Operating systems now evolve constantly through cloud-connected updates, app layers, and service bundles. Managing your machine increasingly means revisiting settings, not setting them once and forgetting them. There's also an enterprise angle that often gets ignored in consumer discussions. Large organizations spend serious money building standardized Windows environments. IT departments create deployment images, compliance rules, app allow lists, and security baselines so thousands of machines behave predictably. When new AI components appear unexpectedly, even if they are harmless, they create extra validation work. Teams need to test compatibility, review data policies, train staff, and answer support tickets. What feels like a small update at home can become a costly operational task at scale. That is why administrators usually ask for one thing above all else: control. They want clear documentation, predictable rollout schedules, and reliable switches that stay switched off when required. In regulated industries such as finance, healthcare, or government contracting, uncertainty around new features can slow adoption dramatically. Not because AI is automatically bad, but because unmanaged change is expensive. Microsoft knows this, which is why enterprise controls often arrive alongside consumer-facing launches. The question critics raise is whether those controls are strong enough and easy enough to use. Another layer of this story is competition. Microsoft is not adding AI in a vacuum. Google is embedding Gemini across its ecosystem. Apple is building Apple Intelligence into its platforms. Adobe, Meta, Enos, and many software vendors are racing to attach AI assistants to products people already use. In that environment, every company fears being seen as behind. That pressure can encourage faster rollouts, broader defaults, and aggressive placement strategies designed to normalize new tools quickly. Users then become the testing ground for how much integration the market will accept. But speed has a cost. If companies move faster than customer trust, resistance grows. We have seen that pattern before with browser toolbars, forced upgrades, bundled apps, and intrusive prompts. People usually do not reject change itself. They reject change that feels one-sided. AI may be more powerful than those earlier examples, but the same human reaction still applies. Respect the user, explain what changed, and provide a real opt-out. Looking ahead, one of the smartest moves Microsoft could make would be a central AI control panel inside Windows. Imagine one place where users can see every AI feature installed on the system, what data it uses, whether it runs locally or in the cloud, and how to disable it permanently. That kind of transparency would reduce confusion overnight. Instead of chasing settings across apps and updates, users would have a clear command center. Because in the end, most people are not anti-AI. They are anti-confusion, anti-clutter, and anti-losing control over devices they paid for. Any company that understands that distinction will have a major advantage in the next era of personal computing. So, was Windows caught reactivating Copilot on millions of PCs? The dramatic version is overstated. There is no public proof of some hidden master switch being flipped in the background to secretly force Copilot back onto every machine. No leaked document, verified report, or official evidence shows that kind of coordinated action. That headline grabs attention, but it simplifies a much messier reality. The real issue is Microsoft's update strategy. Across multiple Windows updates and product changes, users have repeatedly reported Copilot-related apps, shortcuts, taskbar icons, and integrations returning after they had already been removed or disabled. In some cases, it was the same feature reappearing. In others, it was a new version, a renamed tool, or a separate Copilot component tied to another Microsoft service. Technically, those differences matter. For everyday users, they usually do not. If something you chose to remove keeps coming back, the experience feels the same either way. That is why so many people are frustrated. This is bigger than one AI assistant. It touches on a basic expectation people have when they use a personal computer. Their settings should mean something. When users disable a feature, uninstall an app, or turn off a shortcut, they expect that choice to remain in place unless they decide otherwise. When updates appear to override that choice, confidence in the platform takes a hit. And in tech, perception matters almost as much as code. A company can argue technical distinctions all day, but users judge what they see on screen. If they keep seeing unwanted features return, trust erodes one update at a time. If users keep feeling that disabled does not mean disabled, trust becomes the real feature that gets uninstalled. If you've seen Copilot return on your PC after removing it, drop your experience in the comments. And if you want more straight, evidence-based coverage on Windows, AI, and the future of personal computing, stay tuned.